It is a beautiful day for some DSA, and welcome back to the Cozy Club, my friends. The Wild faction finally got the refresh that we have all been waiting for. Over the course of this channel's history, we've talked about just about every faction within the game. We've talked about Kingdom, Frozen, Oceanics, Onward, Princess, Tech, but we haven't talked about the Wild faction, and that's for the large purpose of them really lacking any leadership or synergy of any kind outside of those Frozen characters and maybe some Lion King. There wasn't anyone in the Wild faction that completely stood out. So Cozy Club, in today's video, we're going to be going over each and every character refresh. We're going to be looking at the stats for all these characters that got touched up, as well as their new ability kits, to see what was added and what is missing to make the Wild faction an absolute legit faction to use not only in raids but also live PvP. Now, the Wilds already had some use in raids, but that went up a ton today, so excited to talk about that. And altogether, I just love character refreshes within Disney Sorcerer's Arena. It might be my favorite thing that the DSA team does from time to time. We've had things like Aladdin get buffed up, some of the Oceanics, and now the Wilds are getting their turn. And why I love this is mainly you've got not only characters that we already have unlocked that are just sitting in our roster benches. Nobody's using Pocahontas, nobody's using Baloo, obviously, but now these old characters that once had no reason to be used are starting to have more synergy and updated kits to make sense with the other characters that have been released. So overall together, if you guys actually, if it's been a while for you, we made a top 10 rework characters or characters that need a rework, and a lot of those got touched over the last 7 months. So super excited that they keep on working on these iconic Disney characters to make them relevant, not only within DSA, but to use them again and to be reminded of why we play this game, to play with Disney characters that we love to use. So let's go ahead and jump into today's video and hop on over and check out the updated, wild, and refreshed characters. Now, Cozy Club, just in case you missed my Twitch stream the other day, we already showcased a lot of what these wild characters can do. So if you want to catch me playing live and testing these characters as they come out, go ahead and check down in the description below. You can find my Twitch link there. And also, guys, if you want to check and follow me on Twitter, I've been posting a ton of kind of sneak previews for my videos and just my overall impressions for some characters within the game. Now, I'm really excited about next week as we're going to have a ton of videos, some more to expand upon the Beginner's Guide series, but also some much long awaited for videos. Definitely, we're going to have the January tier list video and also some team guides finally coming out. So super pumped about that. So enough of that. Let's go ahead and jump into what the topic is today, talking about these wild characters. And now, we just recently talked about Scar and his overall crazy bump up in viability. You can use him at any gear level as long as he has his best friend Cobra Bubbles or just tactics in general. Scar is a very solid wild character who unfortunately is not going to get any type of buff from this overall Wilds refresh, because head scratchingly enough, they did leave off some characters from the refresh that I was a little confused on, like Mordew definitely needed some love. Let's go ahead and start off looking at everybody's favorite wild character, Pocahontas. Now, really, since I began content creation, I was talking about Pocahontas getting a character rework, and boy, did she get it, and she's much more viable. Now, you used to maybe use Pocahontas within phase 3, maybe phase 1 of the raid. She was one of the few cleansers that we had within the game to use for the raid, but now she's definitely an elite cleanser, a great healer, and overall brings a lot of wild synergy. So looking at her kit, you can check out first her basic attack got a removed chance to inflict that continuous damage, which I understand what they were trying to do with the continuous damage overall, but it makes a lot more sense that she's going to be gaining haste instead, and that is going to be the new proc chance per Wild's teammate. So you've got your first little bit of Wild's teammate synergy right here in her basic attack. Looking on over at her first special, Spirit of the Wolf, she's got a little bit of an Ana thing going on here. She's gonna be able to grant speed meter to the primary target that she selects with this, and if that target is a Wild teammate, they're gonna be gaining offense up for 2 turns. Also, they added all teammates adjacent to that main target will be gaining life drain, and if they happen to be Wilds, they'll be gaining up to 15% speed turn meter. So again, you've got a little bit of an Ana kit built in there, especially with some extra Wild synergy, and this combined with her passive is going to make for Pocahontas altogether to be a very solid character. Looking at her next special, that's going to be Colors of the Wind. This was already a really fun mechanic within the game, and they definitely beefed it up to make some massive damage within the raid and also make Pocahontas one of the elite cleansers within DSA, right up there with Baymax, it being used with the wild faction. So she's going to be dealing up to 1,500 damage, that's what it says on my end, to the target opponent per teammate, and she's going to be cleansing 2 harmful effects from every teammate. Now, if they're wild teammates, she can cleanse an additional 2, making it 4 harmful effects on the field. That's like Belle's Enchanted Rose, but for all the wild teammates, definitely super advantageous again in phase 1 and phase 2 for some quick damage that you can pump out there and really get some nice raid teams in phase 1 and phase 2, which we'll have a video on raid teams all together next week, and you can rest assured that the wild faction is going to be included on there. Also with this, inflict a copy of each effect removed by cleanse on the target opponent with the duration refreshed, and you're going to get a big chunk of healing with this. That's going to be increased per harmful effect cleanse, and you're going to actually see some really crazy health numbers altogether, making Pocahontas a lot better of a healer overall. Now, looking at her passive, Spirit of the Deer, this is a passive that went from being already really good on a slow character to really great on a much faster character. Now, on battle start and on her turn start, so both the beginning of the battle and at the start of her turn, the teammate with the lowest speed meter is going to gain the following. They're going to fill their speed meter by up to 15%. They're going to get their health restored and gain evasion if they have full health. Now, if this is a wild teammate, they're going to gain haste in addition, and you can see what they added on the chart right there. Guys, this is going to be great to have, especially to counter big, strong, single target damage characters like Zerg or like Sheriff or a ton of other ones to protect Beast and Baymax. Now, what's going to happen is if you have Pocahontas on your team, Beast or Baymax, or most likely a lot of your tanks, are going to be the slowest characters on the field. So they're going to gain evasion to start the battle, giving them a little bit of extra protection and overall have them do their job as a tank a lot better. Now, lastly, let's check out the lead. This is going to have a ton of the wild synergy within it. You already had this be a hero focus lead where you're going to go ahead and get up to 12% for both hero teammates on offense. The defense teammates are going to get 12% defense, and then your support characters we're going to get up to 6% recovery and potency. However, now this is all the same, but wild characters are going to be gaining up to 4% extra in each stat. So your Merida that's already hitting like an absolute cannon is now going to be added on a ridiculous amount of offense to that overall. She's going to have 16% extra offense already to what her built-in mechanics are, which we'll get to in just a bit. Pocahontas definitely a big winner from this altogether. I think she's going to work perfectly on free-to-play teams, especially with Frozen. I like her as a Frozen leader instead of Anna, because what you can do is you can plug her in, and Elsa with this new leadership is going to hit like an absolute truck. Now, you notice she's an offense character, so Elsa's going to gain 14% bonus offense, right? If we go ahead and pull up Elsa's kit really quickly on the right side, you guys can see Elsa already has insane offense numbers, pushing 3,302 at maxed out. This scales very well from tier 6, 7, and now 8. And what you can do is add this in and get even bigger barley bombs out of Elsa. So super excited that people that have invested in Frozen have another character that they can plug in there for that Olaf spot to make it a lot better. And what I like about Poca is obviously we've got a ton of hero characters within the game, and Pocahontas is going to be able to make her lead work with just about any of those. Now, keep in mind, it does not have speed, right? So we are still lacking the speed meter for the wild team, which is that missing puzzle piece. They're not going to be able to work as an entire team within live PvP, especially near the top meta. Even in the mid game, that's not going to work great. However, you now have a very solid leadership and one more puzzle piece to make the wild faction a lot better. So let's go ahead. Let's jump at the next character. Probably for me, the most exciting and easily the winner of the character refresh, and that is going to be Merida. Now, looking at Merida, Merida's got some crazy solid enhancements, if you will. Her basic is now going to have the chance to repeat itself per Princess teammate, which, guys, man, this damage starts to add up like crazy. You're going to get some really nice opening damage to adjacent characters. And my favorite thing about this is she can work around the tanks on the field, being able to hit multiple characters no matter how much taunts are on the field. In fact, it's kind of hard to not make the case to just use her basic over and over again because of how much damage it does and exactly what it can do altogether. Now, her basic already had the chance to get a nice critical strike chance per active Wisp on Merida, which we'll talk about the Wisp mechanic here in a hot minute. Looking at Rain of Arrows, very solid attack here, and one that I don't use too much in battle unless I absolutely need to, but this is going to be her continuous damage attack, and she can absolutely annihilate tons of enemies on the board. However, I do find myself using her basic or her second special a lot more than Rain of Arrows, but still, regardless, got a nice bump up and got that empowered enhancement that we'll talk about in a second. Now, Choose Your Own Fate. This is the ability, Cozy Club. This ability is absolutely insane. First of all, you're going to deal a ridiculous amount of damage. You guys can see 12,355 just flat damage. That is going to stack also with an ignoring defense by 15% per active Wisp on Merida. Merida is going to gain a Wisp each and every time she uses her basic attack. So if you have Belle behind her, right, and she calls Merida to assist and she has princesses around her, she is going to be able to do multiple basic attacks, getting 2 Wisps, then 4 Wisps on that next turnaround, and she can instantly use Choose Your Fate, eliminate a character. And now, what they've added with this, guys, is if you kill the target opponent, which I'm going to say it's typically overkill. You're going to, by the time you have her built up with all the Wisps, you're going to have a 60% chance or 60% defense ignore mechanic. The Wisps are going to also add an extra offense with her passive. If it's under a Poke lead, even more offense. So you're definitely going to kill the target, keep those Wisps, and if she happens to have all 4, she's going to purge all helpful effects and then deal damage. And it's in that order on purpose, right? She's going to get rid of that defense up. She's going to get rid of those strong buffs that kind of keep them protected and lay on the heavy damage. Very, very helpful and a very strong ability overall. Now, lastly, for her abilities, we have Willow Wisps. Now, this is probably one of my favorite passives in the game. And Merida, she already had one of the most fun interactive ability kits altogether, and now they expanded on that even more by giving her kind of like a mini Elsa empowered mechanic. Now, you already know how Elsa works, right? She needs those 4 shards that she can get each time she starts her turn to get to her Super Saiyan state and lay out the heavy damage in her empowered status. However, Merida only needs 4 Wisps, which can be a minimal of just 2 basic attacks so that she can hit that 4 times and then go ahead and get 4 Wisps. She's going to be getting so many different stats from this altogether. Let me pull up Merida's stats so that you guys can see the overall stats. But check this out. First of all, her damage or her offense is going to be at 2,492. Very respectable offense there. Eye tenacity. But Cozy Club, check out that potency, crit chance, and by far the most kind of eye-popping stat that she has here is her evasion. Her evasion is second in the game as far as I can see, up to Baymax, or as far as that I have right now, at a whopping 20%. She's gonna be able to dodge plenty of the attacks. She's got that 128 speed to hang out with the rest of the meta. And overall, Merida is the most plug and play right next to Shere Khan in this Wilds refresh. Loving what Merida can do. Probably gonna have a complete spotlight on her alone, just so that you guys can see the ability priority and what I like most about her. But quickly, I would say you want to go ahead, get that basic up a ton, Choose Your Fate, and also her passive. Now, currently, Merida is easily the winner of this patch. I think Shere Khan is a very solid tune, and Pocahontas got some really great buffs. But Merida is the winner of the patch because of that princess synergy. It's something that you can build on, and all together, guys, the princesses are skyrocketing. Just wait for those Club Conquest Towers where they're going to be getting tactics and bonus offense. They're going to be a nightmare to mess with, and Merida is a great free-to-play character that can plug in for a ton of teams to make up for a lack of damage if you're missing that within your team. Now, let's go ahead and quickly go over the last 2 characters, being Shere Khan and Baloo. So, looking at Shere Khan first, Shere has got a nice refresh that at first looked like a nerf, but after talking with one of my buddies, Maelstrom, he's saying, man, let me tell you, it is definitely a buff. Now, Shere Khan he's going to be able to be capped now on the overall damage that he can do. But the guy can lay out some massive damage altogether, gain stealth on that basic attack, which is going to deal 10% bonus damage, 20% if you upgrade it full for each harmful effect on the field, up to 10, and will gain stealth. That basic attack, absolutely gnarly. Looking at Law of the Jungle, this is something crazy. If Shere Khan has stealth, continuous damage from this attack cannot be resisted. Now, let me tell you this, guys. He's going to attack 6 times for some monster damage, and each attack, so out of those 6, has a chance to inflict continuous damage. That's also going to hit another massive amount of damage. If this can't be resisted, you're going to be having Shere Khan essentially assassinate anyone on the battlefield. Very solid character for both raids and PvP. I like Merida a lot better because of her princess synergy, but it wouldn't surprise me if we got more wild synergy, making Shere Khan overall a better fit. But like I said, Shere Khan is lacking more overall synergy to make him the best of the best, but still a very solid toon. If I were to say just at first glance, guys, I think that Merida is going to move up to an A+. I think Shere Khan somewhere in that A, high A or low A+ range, and then Pocahontas definitely going up a lot, and Baloo a little bit as well. But Shere Khan, we're going to be talking about him live on stream today with Maelstrom. He's going to be talking about what his thoughts are on his Gear 8 Shere Khan, and the guy just uses Shere a lot, so definitely want to get his opinion on it. Now, altogether, let's go ahead, look at Shere Khan's stats, and move over to the last buff. Looking at Shere Khan's stats, you have an offense of 2,412. Again, very high respectable offense. His stats are a little less eye-popping, if you could say that, than Merida's. However, don't forget Shere Khan's passive, which is a little head-scratching. His passive gives him just a base crit power. You know, I wish that was just in his overall stats, but he gets extra crit power, more crit power per Wild's teammate. And that's really, like I said, once we get more Wilds and more synergy, definitely a character that's going to shine more and more and evolve as the Wilds faction evolves as a unit, right? And that's what I do like. Merida's going to evolve with the princesses primarily, and Shere Khan is going to evolve with the Wild faction. Now, Cozy Club, if you're new here, it's no shock that I hate Baloo. In fact, when I started my channel, I've been talking crap about Baloo, and I'll tell you the full story. Come on, stop by the Twitch stream, and I'll tell you exactly why I hate him so much. However, he is rising from being one of regarded the worst characters in the game to a pretty solid character overall. He's at least rising from the F tier trash, and I deemed both Tuesday and Wednesday Baloo's day, where he took over the Cozy Club. Here's a quick bit, if you missed it from the stream, of him absolutely dominating Cozy Gamer. This is going to be the moment. If I bring back Baloo with this hammer, I swear... Come on! Don't do it to me! You want to be efficient with your farming and not end up with this guy. You know my feelings and my hatred for Baloo, so we're not even going to go there. If I went to the Cave of Wonders and found the lamp and had 3 wishes, I would use all 3 to wish him out of this game. But if I could get a video of this being Baloo, I'd be the happiest man on earth. Oh, Baloo, I see you. No, I don't, you.
That's going too far.
Baloo, hate his guts. Alrighty, so next week we will get the raid team guide video out. Thursday, I will get the tier list out for January. Got to make sure we put Baloo definitely in the garbage tier. I mean, the bear continues just to suck in this game. And then, oh, look, Meathead posted the official news. Let's check out what got refreshed, what's coming out. Let's hope for Hercules, baby. Oh my gosh. Hold it. Look, it was a joke. It was a joke. I think I've lost him. It's 3 a.m. Somewhere around 3 a.m. And Cozy Club, I'm going to find a way to stream for you guys. We're not gonna let this damn bear do anything about that. We'll see. I'll keep you posted. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the crazy parody video we did there, Baloo. Absolutely, it was a fun stream altogether. And if you want to check out what kind of that led into, go ahead and you can go and check out yesterday's stream and just see how that was all together. But let's go and look at what changed about this bear. Now, first of all, Baloo is going to get a guaranteed chain to adjacent with his basic. Nothing special or eye-popping there. The offense down is nice to see on his basic attack, but again, nothing crazy. Now, Fight Like a Bear did get a little bit of a bump up, and this is going to work actually really great with Merida, and let me tell you why. First of all, he's going to grant offense up to the target teammate for 2 turns and critical chance up. In addition, the adjacent teammates have a chance to get offense up, and the target teammate will be able to use their basic attack on a random opponent. So he can call Merida to hit someone who doesn't have taunt and get out a double bomb to build up those wisps very early within the battle. So you can have something like Poca's passive going over to Baloo, Baloo going to Merida, and then your Wilds team is built up. We're just missing an overall little bit more synergy to make them work, and I'm excited to see how it works all together. Now, not only that, he's going to be increasing the speed meter of the selected teammate by 20%, which is going to have a nice speed train rolling, which I definitely like to see. Now, his Bare Necessities ability is going to be both healing your teammates and damaging the opponent teammates, while also cleansing one harmful effect from each teammate into continuous healing. And also, if they're wilds, it's 2 effects. So altogether, more damage, more healing, and another great cleanser within the game and within the raids in live PvP. Now, lastly, you've got a Quick Snack, his passive. He's going to be throwing over bananas, healing up your teammates consistently with continuous healing, and overall, that's a fair amount of healing. It's not going to be able to keep up. Healers, like we've talked about, they're just kind of missing within this game. Healers can't keep up with the damage that's being pumped out, but Baloo is definitely a lot more solid with his healing abilities. Looking at his stats, this is really where he doesn't shine. Still very subpar stats altogether. Not great health, not great offense, not great speed. Altogether is lacking in the stats field, but Baloo is definitely a much better character that I'm glad that he's right. We've come to a mutual agreement that it's a hate-hate relationship, but he has risen from the ashes of F tier, and you can expect him in January's tier list not to be at the bottom of the barrel. So Cozy Club, we're gonna have plenty of wild videos coming. We've got a big team guide video, raid team, and tier list, a big week next week to talk more about the wild faction. This is currently the squad I've been using in live PvP, and it's working really well for me. You can replace Beast Tier with, let's say, Jasmine for a more free-to-play option, and in fact, Jasmine is gonna bring another princess in. Throw Mulan in there for even more synergy, as we talked about. And the princess units altogether, especially for free-to-play, are on the rise, and they're just missing a couple more little bit of characters to make them a lot better. Now, I know data mines are a thing. We don't talk about data mines on this channel, particularly because they can change, and I just choose not to. But it looks like we might be getting even more princesses coming down the line. Super excited about that as well. And altogether, guys, I think there's some great wild team potentials. And definitely, I can tell you, Merida easily fits in live PvP, and in the top in live PvP at that. Shere Khan does that as well. You do have to form the teams a little bit more around him, but in the raids in phase 1 and 2, definitely a team to not underestimate of overall raid damage. And I'm excited that the wild faction has more and more synergy altogether. Like I said, guys, there's a few missing puzzle pieces. Usually they kind of make sense with what they're doing all together on the big picture, and so we'll see what happens to the wild faction. Hopefully you enjoyed today's video. Again, the wild faction getting refreshed, feeling energized, and we're missing just a few puzzle pieces to make them work all together as a single unit to dominate Conquest, live PvP, and the raids. Now, again, I hope that we do get probably a better leadership, something to do with speed maybe, and another character's kit to at least make them be able to ramp up with the other teams out there, because if they're lacking speed, they're just not going to be able to hit with the other teams. But very excited to start for here. Let me know down in the comments below. We got the wild refresh. Which faction or character refresh do we need next? Put that down in the comments below. Guys, if you haven't already, go ahead and like the video, join the Cozy Club, and subscribe to the channel. My friends, we'll be streaming tonight and showing off some crazy wild teams, so stop by the Twitch stream. And until next time, my friends, stay cozy.